In Greek mythology, there's a story of a young man who is so in love with his own reflection, it destroys him. His name is Narcissus. 2,000 or so years later, and a number of psychologists later, we have a definition for a condition called the narcissistic personality disorder. I bet you're wishing the microphone was off now, aren't you? A condition whereby someone has an inflated sense of their own importance, troubled relationships. As a result of that, no room for anyone else, lack of empathy for others. In popular culture, though, the word goes around a fair bit. There are books that would even say that we have a narcissism epidemic. They blame things like helicopter parents, getting an award for coming 14th place. My kid was 4th, it's okay. Getting an award for going 14th place, for the rise of our celebrity, popular culture stars on YouTube and social media. There are others who would disagree with them, though, and simply say all that our culture is doing now is magnifying what's always been. What's always been. But what does that matter to us anyway? What's the big deal about that anyway? I mean, we are like totally loved by God, fearfully and wonderfully made. Yay! We are awesome. We are sent and here to change the world. We are gifted. We are talented. We're amazing. We're worth dying for. Narcissism never touches our lives at all, does it now? Narcissism doesn't even come close to us, does it now? And yet, as we begin this gathering together and we look at all the spaces where we have influence, where we have opportunity, the environments that we're in, I think it is important that we ask ourselves some questions in this area. You see, we all know that our ambitions and our appetites and our longings for approval can take us to places that our characters won't sustain. That they'll take us to places that we don't have the capacity to resist. And in those places, our dreams become our rights. Our popularity determines our success. Our needs can become our necessities. And our celebrity is interpreted like it's an anointing. I remember having a good friend of mine who said to me one day, she goes, I'm sick of being a Christian. I'm sick of being a Christian because I was told that when you became a Christian, all your dreams came true. And it made you really happy. And I was like, honey, that's Disney. That's not. But she was told that. And I do feel as we begin this journey together, it's worth us asking ourselves in the spaces we're in the places we have opportunity. Where is this calling a call? And where is this calling a need about us? Where are these opportunities something that God is drawing us into and sending us out to? And where is it something we need as a way of self-actualization, wish fulfillment, our destiny, Disney style? I didn't want to do a kind of, you know if you're a narcissist if. However, I am going to share some symptoms of narcissism. And we'll just, if they go by, let them keep on going. Because if there's an epidemic, we want to know whether we've kind of caught the fever. If there's an epidemic, we want to know if we've kind of picked something up that's one of those slow-acting viruses that debilitates us and all that we're about, and has the opportunity and the potential to steal all that God is doing away. So the symptoms, yay. These are from the Mayo Clinic, so don't hate me. People with the disorder can have an exaggerated sense of self-importance, a sense of entitlement that requires constant and excessive admiration. They exaggerate their achievements and their talents. How big is your church? How many people attend? And there's a temptation to give the Christmas numbers. How much money does your business make? Christmas numbers. They believe they're superior and can only associate with special people. They expect particular favors. They take advantage of people to get what they want. The end justifies the means. Ever taken advantage of people to get what you want? Helping make your dreams come true? The list goes on, but we don't have the time, and I think we're all glad for that. But when I go through this and I reflect on the ideas in popular culture about what narcissists are, I'm always reminded I'm one breath away. If I'm honest, my ambitions take me one breath away. My appetites take me one breath away. My desire to be liked will take me one breath away from making me the center of it all and calling it a calling, calling it serving, and it actually being about meeting my desperate needs. So how do we respond? Well, a couple of words from Jesus for us to reflect on. When he calls his disciples, he says this: whoever wants to be my disciples must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it. But whoever loses their life for me in the gospel will save it. A couple of areas where I want to encourage us to consider what it means to take up our cross. Number one, in our soul care. It's often the environment that produces a narcissist, alongside other behavioral things. How's your soul doing? How are your wounds doing? How are the broken pieces of your life doing? Because you look way shiny when you're successful. How's your emotional and mental and physical health? I often say this: I would rather have counseling for a year than need it for 20. I wonder if there are areas of your life that people won't question you on now because you look so wonderful. But actually, it's time and it's not too late to make space to do the work. Number two, an area where we may need to pick up our cross and deny ourselves and follow him. Community. Community. Do you have people who know you, who can ask you difficult and frankly embarrassing questions about you? In Celtic spirituality, they had the Anam Cara, the soul friend who would travel for miles across a country to ask their fellow friend, their fellow missionary, face to face how they really were, how they truly were, how they were actually doing. Who would ask about the things that would tear away all that they were about. Who would delve into their hungers and still call them friend. And then the final thing that I would encourage us to consider: if narcissism is where we're at the center, what does it look like to center someone else? I think our challenge is to leverage our power, and yes, we have it, and to leverage our privilege, and to leverage our opportunities, and to sacrifice for the sake of another. That'll get the narcissist out the way. We might call it serving and saying that'll help, but we can serve and still look good, but can we deny ourselves? Can we leverage what we have for another generation, another people group, another way? And you might not even get the credit. Our calling's our calling. And there's so much noise in the way. I want to encourage us. Let's pick up our crosses, deny ourselves, and follow the best leader on earth, the one who shows us how to do it. Thank you.